Okay then, so what did you think of all the fundraising then that we did as a group?
I thought it was quite important to work as a team. Like, I know not everyone could get to activities, but it was good to have to like get to know people a bit better through the backpacks, and we did charity stalls, and I think it helped for the trip as well, to kind of already have a bit of an idea, and to feel like however you fundraised it, whether it was through work or you'd kind of earned the trip.
Yeah, what did you do that you thought?
The fundraising.
That's the start of my Romania trip.
I think probably the dip on New Year's Day in the North Sea. That was it took quite a lot of effort to get in there on New Year's Day, so I think that was quite exciting. And that was the first thing I did, so it kind of
got your mindset and I'm up for
felt
action
like
now.
I'd actually started the journey. What else did we do in terms of preparation, like the weekends?
Yeah, it was like the camping weekend. Never camped before.
Really?
That was, I put up a tent.
Yeah.
That was pretty amazing.
We were tied together at the legs as well.
Yeah, that was the team bonding. Yeah. It like brought everyone together because everyone just looked like a fool.
Yeah, you were
so,
all
like,
kind of
you just
together.
We're almost like halfway into that expedition experience already.
Then we had lots of meetings as well with Outlook to organise the itinerary.
Because it was our trip, so we needed to.
We were in control of what we wanted to do and what we wanted to get done.
We had our own aims and stuff, and how we wanted to make people happier, and just
to really
learn from that experience and like develop as people.
And I think we did really achieve that. It was
definitely.
We set like realistic aims, but we managed to do
everything
we wanted to.
Was manageable.
Yeah.
It's very, very like basic. Look at that one.
The Princess of Romania.
I like that day. That was good.
Day.
That was my birthday.
I couldn't get there. I was gutted. I couldn't get there.
Could you? Oh yeah, because not everyone was there.
I was on holiday.
Well, it was good. She surprisingly was just a normal, average woman. Meeting her, you didn't like. Of course, it was a bit nerve-wracking. I mean, I had to give the flowers.
Really?
I had to curtsy and everything. I learned how to curtsy going to Romania. Seriously, like so you've learnt like manners and everything, like how to address certain types of people, even though you didn't have to do that over there. But the whole experience has just like totally changed.
And did she talk to you about like what it would be like in Romania, or?
Yeah, she said
what to expect.
She was giving us little like tips and hints, and she just was interested in what we do, and she was quite happy that somebody like just normal like students were going to
like wanted to help.
Yeah, they wanted to do something better and not just be this like stereotypical like get on with life type of person.
Care about other people as well. Yes, the preparation day.
The preparation day. Now that was scary. Getting our bags weighed, I thought, dear me, I thought I'd gone over the limit.
Wait, no, I'd forgotten about that.
I know, what was yours
like? Unpacking hours.
Yeah.
I had to unpack everything and then repack it.
The biggest thing was trying the outfits on. I mean, I've never worn anything like that in my life. Now I'm wearing them in the gym and everything. I'm up for like literally.
It's comfy for that.
When we first arrived, although we'd been prepared for what was there, it was still quite shocking, and some people found it quite emotional, just to see how they lived, because the conditions are so poor, almost like not enough to survive. But it was quite impressive how they managed to like live throughout the year, especially because they get quite violent winters over there. We were kind of unsure because we were outsiders of how we'd get accepted, but they all welcomed us. But it was still quite a shock how different their culture was to ours, and the experience overall was quite eye-opening and life-changing, because we realised how privileged we were.
Like to go to the living conditions, there was like really poor houses and like no sanitation. There was like 6 people like living in like 2-roomed houses.
And the house that we helped with mainly, the main project focus, was it was a house that was big enough to fit 2 double beds in, which 8 people were living in, so 6 children, 2 parents, and then they had about 4 or 5 dogs.
The project leader, RL, he was very nice, and it's impressive how he and everybody at the site were so selfless when they had nothing, but they were still offering to give us things and stuff and trying to make sure that we were alright when clearly they needed more help than we did.
when we arrived, when we got out of the car, and like it was all dull and it was muddy and the smell was even worse because it was obviously quite warm, and like the kids were so happy to see her, and I'd never met them before. Like
it's just such a small thing to us, but to them
it was like amazing. Literally, like, and they didn't think you were intruding. They thought we want to see these
welcomed
people.
it.
Yeah, they welcomed like these new group of people that were just there to try and make them happier. But I think just by showing your face, we'd already done one of our aims, just by turning up and showing an interest in their lives.
Showing that people were cared about trying to help them and to make a difference. It was enough for them. We started off and they told us what we would be doing, building the foundations and like doing a bit of painting and general maintenance and stuff for a lot of the families, and I thought, well, I mean the foundations are a big thing, but the painting, it's going to help them, but it's not a huge difference.
But to them it makes all the difference.
You could see just how much.
Like I did a lot of work the summer school mostly, didn't I? And
with the kids.
And that I thought you could have gained more if you did that. I could have done that for like longer. I could have done it for months.
That was my favourite.
That was like the best bit, because that's literally what, I don't know about you, but like my own personal aim was to get to know like a different culture and understand that just because they don't have all the money in the world, they still are like the happiest little like people.
Just knowing that we have left something solid, but we've also left something that they can remember for the rest of their lives as well.
Like we'll never forget it, but neither will they. Like we'll definitely both gain from it.
Because I was shocked. Like I've never really imagined working with kids would be something I'd want to do, but when I got home, and like I've been talking to people, I have been thinking it has changed like what I think about working with kids
for the future,
what I might like to do. So it really has had a bit of a lasting impression on us as well as in Romania.
But like I'd definitely go back.
I would love to, absolutely.
Like off my own back and just go and do it. What was it like when you got back home?
I didn't want to be at home. The first thing I said to my mum when I got off the bus was, I didn't want to come home, I want to go back. So it took a little while to get back into the routine of being, like having, as I said, having your own space and not having to, but I kind of wanted it back, like I wanted to constantly have to. Yeah,
you almost wanted your lifestyle back, but wanted to keep that bit going.
I felt a bit silly for having so much space that I didn't need and all these things that I didn't use or whatever. It did take a bit getting used to getting back.
I was so emotional when I got back. Like I got off the bus and I just thought, like, what have I just done? Like it moved. Like I thought I wouldn't be so moved. Like I thought, oh, it's so stereotypical just to be like, I feel like a changed person. But you genuinely really do. Like I sat in my kitchen and at home and thought, I felt like physically numb. Like literally a bit of me, I was in so much shock. Like I was lost. I didn't want to go to the fridge without saying, is everyone alright for this? Or like, I mean, obviously you just don't realise how much you take things for granted until they've all gone. You change these qualities. Like you don't have as much care for yourself. You think about others more. You think about how your actions are going to affect someone else's. Like
and what you can do to help.
Their response.
After we returned home, the project, it's quite heavily influenced myself in my studies because I do fine art, and from that I'm doing a project on what we experienced in Romania.
It's changed the way I look at things and I appreciate what I have a lot more.
A few weeks after we returned from the project site, we did a celebration evening where we welcomed our peers and mentors from the local community who sponsored us, including the project leaders who came out with us, just to kind of say thank you for all their efforts in helping us get there and complete the project, because it has changed every one of our lives in a specific way. We generally recapped our experience, so the people who had supported us knew what we'd done, and things that we'd missed out our friends could highlight on. And the video just kind of emphasised the impact of what we made, how we made the lives different over there, because through words you can't really show it, but through footage it was much easier.
It was a great opportunity. I think there was lots of hard things that you had to get through. You had to fundraise yourself, which in this current climate was terrible. We sort of started well, Then we had a real barren patch where we were panicking, didn't we? And then we managed to get the money quite early compared to some, so that was good. The experience itself, I was worried that you being an only child would struggle being in close confines with everyone. It was essential that you had to get on as a team and you had to work together, and I think you did really well in that side of things, and certainly from the report that you got from the expedition leader as well, the fact that you took up the challenge and you did well, which is amazing considering you are an only child. The opportunity to go out there and help people less fortunate than yourself was just once in a lifetime really, and to go to such a remote place and be so far away from everybody and totally different and alien to what you're used to, a different language, different culture, not much running water, having to share all your facilities, was hard really when you think of the lifestyle that the people at Darlington and QE have. For you yourself, you didn't have a lot of confidence, but it has built your confidence. You now know that you can set a challenge for yourself and you can do it. So it does mean that in the future you'll look at things, whereas once over you might have said, oh, that's not for me, or that's too hard. I think it'll make you think twice, and you think, yeah, I can do that. If I went to Romania and helped that and built a house and put cement on the floor and everything else that you had to do, that yeah, you will think twice and you will tackle a challenge head on. So yeah, I think it was a great opportunity, and it has helped you build confidence in yourself and become certainly more aware of your abilities as a team person, taking the challenge when nobody else was willing to step up to the plate.
Any opportunity for students to get out of the classroom and learn by actually doing things, preferably in a different environment, is I think an opportunity that has to be taken. And the Romania project has been a wonderful chance for a number of our students to do just that, to get out of the classroom, but also in many respects to get out of their own comfort zones and to take themselves into a world and work with a community that otherwise they would know so little about. And throughout the project, from their brush with Romanian exiled royalty at the outset of the project, through to the time that they spent with the Roma community actually out in Romania, our students have really pushed themselves physically, mentally and also emotionally. They've certainly left behind, as a result of the work that they've done, some fantastic physical memories for the people there in terms of the actual buildings that they've been involved in creating. But also I'd like to think that the time that they spent playing with the children and spending time with local people out in Romania will have left something behind that will reflect I think a sense of working together that all people across Europe and across the world can benefit from. What the students have brought back is also important. They've come back obviously more experienced people, people who have now had an insight into another part of the world. But I think in themselves these students will now find that they are more thoughtful, more insightful and have a real sense of what can be achieved if one's willing to step out of the comfortable life that we normally lead and do something that's challenging but ultimately will help others as well as ourselves.